There. I think we're good. Mike check. Mike's not here. Mike is already back at work, which is weird because I thought it seemed like he got out of Mike's a teacher, the site admin for those watching, listening. I thought he got out of like his school system was similar to ours, like a June to September, but it seems like his is super short, like a June to August.
Hmm,
Weird.
strange.
What do you guys do May to August, right? Get out of school in May there,
No, we get
go
out of
back in
May,
August.
end of May, early June, like early June, yeah. Then back in August.
Yeah, my dad's like the middle of like 20 something of May and then goes back in the middle of August. Oh well. Yeah, I don't think people really care to listen to us talk about school schedules. Welcome everybody to the Daily Cup of Genre here on the Genreverse podcast. Excuse me, Genreverse Podcast Network and YouTube channel, available on all your favorite podcast apps like Google, Spotify, Apple. Part of the big LRMonline.com family. Go there every day for all entertainment, news, needs, and opinions. I'm Kyle Malone at that Kyle Malone on Twitter. That's Manny at Manny Gomez Media on Twitter. And it's a Monday morning, Manny. How was your weekend, dude?
It wasn't too bad, but I was kind of under the weather a little bit, so I've been staying down.
No
Uh,
movie theater this weekend then?
haha, like how of course.
No,
Um,
so what'd you go see?
we went to go watch one of the only few movies out, and that is 3,000 Years Longing with
Idris Elba,
yeah.
Tilda
It
Swinton,
was
Fettuccine, right?
yeah, it was interesting. Like the storytelling was cool. I still can't tell you exactly what was going on in the main story, and I couldn't recommend that. Like it's just like it was cool, but I was like, what the heck is going
A
on?
little much,
Yeah, yeah, a little bit.
dense, maybe.
And then I didn't see it, but my girlfriend and one of her friends went to. Sorry, one of our friends, I should say it that way. That's probably screwed it up. Went to go watch the Invitation and
Ah,
told me that don't even bother to go watch it because
jeez.
it was very very bad. Um,
Well, yeah. The box office numbers this weekend kind of show that kind of show both 3,000 Years and The Invitation, two new movies this weekend that just damn, between the two of them, they didn't even make 10 million domestically. So,
well, I mean, yeah, and the so fun. Strangely enough, the best movie I saw this weekend, and the bar is very low. And I'm talking about new movies because I saw what did I watch that was actually pretty good. That The Cursed. That's an older movie.
mm,
The horror movie that was kind of fun. Um, but the best new movie I saw this weekend, again, the bar is very low. Is Samaritan on Amazon
on
Prime.
Prime Video, yeah.
Yeah, Prime Video. They don't like it when we call it Amazon Prime Video. Yeah, it was
Their
better.
fault.
It was a lot better than I thought, and I think maybe that's why. So it's not great, but
Hmm.
it's also not as bad as I made it out that it could have been. So sure, why not?
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's on Prime Video. You have Prime Video, so if you need something to watch, something that's a little different, some kind of superhero but not, Samaritan's not a bad choice. I do think their pacing is a little slow, but not bad. Not bad. The cast is kind of like you like the cast. Even I mean, Stallone plays a good. I don't want to be a superhero anymore.
Yeah.
Kind of like vibe. So that wasn't bad at all. But yeah, top five, The Invitation, at a whopping 7 million.
Hmm.
So that's a problem.
Woo.
Um, and yeah, and I mean even still at the top five is Dragon Ball Z, Dragon
Dragon Ball
Ball
Super.
Super superhero, which
Yep.
to this day I'm still not happy with. If I really thinking about it, I hate the
Because
fact
the
the
animation.
animation was just weird.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
the story was great. I obviously love Piccolo more than any other character because he's the real dad in that show. no doubt.
Well, yeah, kind of has to be because Goku spends so much time either fighting or dead.
Yeah. So,
Someone had to raise Gohan.
um, but yeah. So it's weeks like this that going forward, we're like, oh yeah, this is probably why Cinema World decided to
file bankruptcy. Why Warner Brothers Media is so desperate to get people back in theaters where they can, make money off of the things. But again, it all depends on whether or not people go. I mean, even bad horror movies used to easily make 15-20 million dollars on a weekend with no issue, and then your good horror movies with buzz around them could make some additional. 1 second, my son needs my attention. What? Okay, if you can update. If not, you'll have to wait until my show's done. The joys of fatherhood. Yay.
That's great, isn't it?
I appreciate him asking. He didn't want to mess one of his programs on his computer needs to update, and he didn't want to mess anything up. So I appreciate his maturity in that, but I wish there was a little more maturity to not interrupt the show. No, but you used to see horror movies easily push 25, 30. It wasn't that hard for them to make some money on an opening weekend with buzz. And if it didn't have buzz, like I said, 15 to 20, yeah, sure, why not? Hell, we've seen that, in the post pandemic era. It's not good, guys. I know there's a lot of things going on right now that mean less people in theaters, just in general, because of economic hardships. But if you go back to our last episode, we brought up charts and numbers and showed a trend that's been in progress for the last 20 years, despite record sales numbers. The actual tickets sold, butts in seats are down dramatically, and when adjusted for inflation, the numbers they're not good, guys. Like, they're so not good. I'll bring that over one more time for you, and here you can see in the browser window on YouTube. After 2002, other than every now and then with a Avengers or Star Wars movie, you're in a downward trend for tickets sold until, of course, it bottoms out during the pandemic, and now it's just now trying to rise up, and it's bleak, guys. I mean, you're gonna eventually price yourself out of movie theaters for real. Like, the only movie experiences will be the premiums stuff and the seats that cost $20 per person. I don't want that. I enjoy those premium experiences every now and then, but they're only good when you have a good crowd. And yeah, go see a movie.
I will say that a good strategy that Regal has used, and I'm saying this because I've been in multiple ones of those rooms, and they usually tend to sell out. It's playing old movies. The Thing completely booked an entire room. When we went to go watch The Wizard of Oz, completely booked.
Yeah.
Just things like that. It works. It brings in people.
For the theaters, yeah. It doesn't help the studio, studios at all, but it does help. It does help theaters.
Honestly,
absolutely.
Screw the studios at this point. Like, they're making their money, or they're trying to make their money with the streaming services. So theaters need to almost be out on to some degree. I mean, hell, this Saturday is National Cinema Day. And both AMC and Regal will be offering $3 tickets all day for National Cinema Day. So,
yeah. And not only that, and I know there's lots of legal things that go into it. You can't just pop in any old movie that the manager has on hand.
But there's events
but
and things like
yeah,
that.
there are events, but in addition to that, again, I know there will be some legal issues, but theaters already do, but they could do more, and the chains could open this up a little bit more versus the locally owned things. Parties that allow movie screenings to where no one's being charged, no one's making money off of the movie being shown. You made the money by renting out the screening room, and you offer more, services for parties and stuff. Like I said, my son's birthday is the day Doc Brown invented time travel. There's nothing more I would love than on a November 5th birthday for my son to watch and screen with all of his friends Back to the Future. You know what I'm saying? Like, have that as part of the party. That would be badass. And I'm sure there's some place I could potentially find a local theater to do that, but maybe it's time that they start looking at making that more like a thing. I don't know, man. What do you think about that? If that became more common, renting screening rooms for private parties and movie themed stuff.
Well, I mean, Regal already does that to some degree. They do it for like businesses and for things of that nature to just really bring people in. I know that some theaters in the area, not Regal theaters, but the Mayan theaters that are here, they built it with the like party rooms to have birthday parties there. So I mean, they're gonna try their different things, and it's gonna hopefully something works. I mean, it to some degree it does. It's just a matter of studios don't have the movies to support theaters right now because the pandemic happened and a lot of things had to get shelved. We had talked about this a long time ago. Is not the effect that COVID was having in theaters at that moment, but what was going to be the long-term effect afterwards. Mm-hmm. And here we are now seeing those consequences. Because if you remember, we didn't necessarily have too much of a problem with things like this when theaters started first opening, because we were just happy to have a movie in theaters. Yeah. We had the one movie.
Kong or Mortal Kombat, whatever.
But now here we are, like in a quote unquote normal dysfunctional world, and we're seeing missing that blockbuster title to kind of anchor the weekend numbers, and the one that did well did 7 million, and that's where we're at.
And the previous weekend was under 20, mm-hmm. and then the weekend before that was 20 million with Dragon Ball Super. I mean,
because I don't think anything comes out this weekend.
No, dude, there's nothing now. There really is nothing now until Black Adam and Black Panther. That's it. That's the last two movies this year since Shazam got pushed off. Yeah, man, it's freaky.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to find. There's nothing.
We're gonna have another very very subpar $10 billion year in the domestic box office. It'll be surprising for this to break much more than what are we at? We're at about 7-8 right now. So what Black Adam might do 400. What do you think? Does Black Adam do 400 domestic? Nah, it might do 300. What do you think, Manny? Black Adam, 300 max. And then Black Panther, I don't see 5. Maybe if it's got great word of mouth, maybe 4.
Nah, I'm gonna go with 3 also.
That's what. Yeah, I was gonna say maybe 30.
I just don't think. I just think that, and hopefully I'm wrong. We want to be wrong. I just think that there is a little bit of a Marvel fatigue at this point. Like you don't have,
especially a phase 4 fatigue.
yeah. So I just wonder though if it will be the sentiment of the fact that this is the sequel post T'Challa, that it'll raise a little more interest, and I will be interested to see is if they keep that narrative as part of their marketing, which is
I hope not. That's kind of grody if they do. You know?
But the first trailer did.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in seeing if they kind of start making it its own thing, or if they continue with that, because that's kind of weird. But I mean, the top movie of the year obviously is Top Gun Maverick, which almost stopped at 700. And then Doctor Strange, Jurassic World, The Batman, Minions, surprisingly over Thor.
Yeah, I know, right?
And then
crazy world we live in.
But like, so once we stop at Thor, everything else is 200. Well, under 300 or less, including Spider-Man No Way Home, which is kind of a surprise.
Well, that's only because it, original release date was in December, and it made a shit ton of money in its first few weeks of release before 22 hit.
Yeah, but then you got like movies like Sonic the Hedgehog and Elvis and Lightyear, and I can't really put Nope in there because horror movies tend to stay around that number anyway.
Yeah.
The Lost City, just
basically
so
it's really bad, guys.
Fantastic
really
Beasts
bad.
Should have been up there, and it was not. There's that. I feel like in the 90s a movie like Bullet Train would have been higher up also.
I think so.
There's your movie of the year, Morbius, also.
Put it this way, guys, as some of you may have seen on YouTube as I was scrolling back through the years, the last few years, you hit less than 100 million within the top 15 movies. In 2019, you had 29 films make over $100 million domestic. Going back to 2018, 35 make over 100 million domestic. Go back to 2017 and we get 35 again, making 100 million. So seriously, guys, it's rough out there. And again, it takes money to make content, and if you like content, you gotta be prepared to pay for it. And I don't mean pennies on a subscription. And again, this is not us saying to put yourselves at risk to support entertainment. Of course, health, food, security, and stuff like that come first. We're just saying that, I mean, you guys like movies, right? And if you do, it costs money to make them. So anyways, we can go ahead and leave that topic there. There's only really one other thing that came out in the last day, if you will. It was hit this morning that I saw on the direct. Apparently Marvel may have already found their Reed Richards in Penn Badgley, I'm guessing is how you say this gentleman's name. Excuse me. We had heard that Matt Shakman was doing the movie. He did WandaVision, and now we're getting word that from who is this guy again? Devin Faraci. Devin Faraci used to be an editor in chief over at Birth Movies Death. Said on the Marvel Vision podcast that the guys that Marvel Studios been talking to about it are all white guys. That guy, Penn Badgley from the show You, who probably has the role already. Frankly, he's a white guy. They're going with the standard, and he's terrific, by the way. That's a good choice, but they're going very classical. Mr. Faraci, in a previous quote in the interview, mentioned how he had been wanting to see a Black Reed Richards. So that's the context for the additional part of the comments. But yeah, what do you think about that? I don't know this guy. He was on Gossip Girl and You.
Yeah,
and
he's great on You, actually.
He looks like a Reed, but I don't know anything about him.
I haven't seen him enough. It's funny because if he's Reed Richards, I'll still see him as the creepy guy from You. Yeah.
Oh wait, that's the stalker guy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
My wife watched that stuff. I saw like one episode where they were all doing drugs and having weird sex in a house while he's sneaking around the house. I'm like, what are you watching? Okay,
Yeah.
I know who he is now.
You're all watching from the corner of the kitchen to being creepy yourself. Yeah.
I don't need to stalk my wife. I live with her.
You do it for the sport.
Sport stalking. Oh my god.
Yeah. So I don't care what color he is, and honestly, with a character that's that big, I'd stick with tradition too. There's no reason why we have to make every character also a minority, or every hero now a girl right now, which is what's happening.
Did you see that Little Nemo in Slumberland? I think it's coming from Netflix with Jason Momoa playing Flip. The female is Nemo.
Yeah, so is this what I got? Is this what it was in comics? Yes, it was. That's fine with me. There's some instances where, for example, have we seen very many Hispanics in superhero films, and so we changed Neymar to kind of fit that narrative, and I'm just like, that works. Not enough people know Neymar to really make a difference. There's your comic nerds like us, and then there's the rest of the world who thinks he's Aquaman.
Yeah.
So not a problem at all. So yeah, whoever Reed Richards is, I'm sure it'll be fine. If it's him, he kind of does look the part, and it'll be interesting to see him in that role. So sure, why not?
And he's in the age frame, or at least looks to be in the age bracket of what I would think. How old is he? What I was thinking, this version of Reed should be 35. So yeah, he is. I was hoping for like a mid 30s adult, potentially having already had Franklin and, is it Valerie or Valeria, something like that, the daughter, the kids, because I still stand on the whole idea that if you have them having went off into their cosmic adventure in like the 1960s with Doom, at some point Doom gets kicked out of whatever time dimension, whatever they're in. He ages normally here on Earth, and a long time goes by, versus for them it was 10 years. 10 years. They've got a couple of kids that are 5 and 6 or 5 and 7 or whatever. I think that's a pretty unique setup. It gives us something different. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. So
hopefully it's good.
I think that yeah. Well, we'll wait and see. Disney what was that thing? D23 is close.
Yes. Yes. Next week we have Disney Plus Day, followed immediately by D23.
Yeah. So that
lots of stuff to. Yeah,
that'll be a lot of things to unpack and whatnot. I'll be 34 by then. Yeah. So there's one thing I also want to talk about, and I'm throwing you under the bus here because maybe you don't want to talk about it. And I just get sometimes very annoyed by the internet. And so I don't even know if you're aware of this. So are you aware of the actress who Sydney Sweeney?
Yes, I am, and I've seen the Twitter storm over some MAGA related or MAGA look-alike stuff at her mom's birthday party, and the whole internet's losing their freaking mind because how dare you have family that doesn't agree with your fans? I mean, holy shit.
Yeah, so this is one of
Wow.
those cases where I just get really annoyed with the internet because it's not her fault what her family believes in. Like, if you or I had a sibling that has different points of view than us, because we don't ostracize them for that. You know, their family.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own opinions, and this poor actress is getting all kinds of hate on the internet because of what other people are doing, which is now a new level of canceling that I find very, very funny and sad, actually, because it's that proof that I think you and I have even talked about, that the internet is just looking for something to get mad at.
Oh yeah.
and then one of the pictures that I have a problem with is that somebody's wearing a Blue Lives Matter shirt. Like, so I was like, so being in support of police now is a bad thing in general? I mean, I thought I thought that was
apparent.
That was crazy, first of all. And then and then the other one, I think one of her relatives, a couple of relatives are wearing MAGA hats. What does that have to do with her?
Yeah, not to mention the fact that whether we like it or not, there's what, about 220 million voting age Americans, maybe a little bit more, okay? And out of that, not that many vote. You get about 160 million that vote usually. 75 million voted for Trump. Thank God I was not one of them. Sorry, not that I voted for Mr. Biden either. However, so 75 million people did, which means that most of us have at least one relative that voted for the guy. And most of us probably have multiple that voted for him. But that doesn't mean that guilt by association. I mean,
yeah,
this is some stupidity level stuff. Like, don't get me wrong. If you unfortunately follow me on Twitter, you'll see that I do have some political opinions that piss off a lot of people because including Twitter, because I strive for consistency, and I don't like hypocrisy, which means I despise both left and right mainstream parties right now. I hate the Republicans. I hate the Democrats.
100%.
I hate 90% of Congress needs to be fired. About the only ones that deserve to keep their jobs, I'm sure, are some staffers. No, that's right. Fire all 400 what, 430 something now, 430, 440, whatever. Everybody in Congress, both houses, Senate and the House of Representatives, gone. Clean slate. Let's get a clean slate. Like, that's my feel on politics. However, I'm not ready to ostracize anyone that simply supports a political party or ideology. I full disclosure, I think Trump was trash. I think he made horrible cabinet choices. What cabinet? He made awful decisions. Couldn't lead his party. Couldn't get anything passed on his own when the Republicans had both parts of Congress. I think he was ineffective. Bad. Beyond everything else. That's just the politics. That's not getting into all the cult of personality crap. When it comes to Biden, I think he's done a lot of crap wrong. I'm not ready to cut anyone out of my family that's supported either one of them. And trust me, I think the politics of Mr. Biden are way worse than Trump's, but Trump's actions have been in general way worse than Mr. Biden's.
I'd say his mouth was worse than anything else.
You know, yeah. Well,
there were some instances where there was this kind of glimmer of hope that he was doing something good, but then he would completely, ruin it by talking.
Now there's lots of his supporters that if they were in my family, I would cut out, but that's based on their actions and their God, what's the word? They are zealots, basically. The zealots. If I had a zealot in my family, yeah, I'd probably not be speaking with them as much. But in general, just simply thinking that they would have done better than the current guy, don't think they would have. I don't think that's a reason to be canceled.
Yeah. The thing is, and it just kind of shows the ignorance of the internet in general. And how because you would think that maybe the people who went on this rant, about 60%, and another 40% just followed along.
Yeah,
because it's like, oh, this is cool right now. That's
guilt by association.
And I'm sure not everyone even followed up on actually looking up what was going on, and she was, was she wearing a hat? Was she saying something? No, this is just her at her mom's party. Family members were wearing different things, what they belong in, and so what they want to believe. So it's proof really that not a lot of people do their homework, and it's just easier to get mad than to actually do something.
It's kind of like the whole idea of canceling someone in anyways, or excuse me, having them face consequences. You'll never be progressive or woke or whatever words you want to use, and I'm not using the negative connotation. I'm using the traditional sense of awakening from past, unwakefulness, bigotry, or whatever. You're never going to be far enough ahead for tomorrow now. If you're already canceling people for things that were common in the 80s, the 90s, things that people have grown beyond and made right by following the times and not using certain slurs or slanderous speech things, back in the whether people like it or not, dear God, the amount of actors and actresses, musicians that used gay as a synonym for shitty. I mean, look at South Park. Their first 10, 15 years, dude, that's gay. Like, yeah, we get it. It's not appropriate, but it was such a common thing that so long as someone has made a conscious effort to no longer do that in their lives, once it was definitely, hey, look, yeah, we got to move on. Like, that's the whole point of learning and progress, is to get better. You're not born better. You're actually born trash as a human. Sorry, and you have to work every day to be better. So yeah, man, this type of guilt by association, this type of this type of ultra progressive, like I said, I can't think of another word, but woke type stuff, guys. It's not going to be enough. There's something you are against today that you're going to get in trouble for in the future. And
the thing about it is that if you're getting outraged over things like this, it really loses its effectiveness when it's appropriate.
Yes,
there are times when certain celebrities' actions do warrant outrage. Yeah, and this is not one of them. So when it happens, it turns into that cry wolf thing where nobody's gonna pay attention because it's just the mass amount of people just being mad. It's almost like that saying sometimes you see on social media. It's like, hey, good morning. What are you mad about today? Because you need to be
claws.
Because you need to be so much better than certain person in this case. And the thing is that kind of tying it to Hollywood even more is that Hollywood's picked up on this. For example, there's a show, a fantastic show called Woke on Hulu, that completely takes the lighter side of this and makes light of people's supposed conscience of wokeness and how and being more and more woke than the next person, and you see more and more shows and movies now taking a comedic side to it because of how ridiculous it's getting, and I don't think people are noticing that too much, but you see it more and more where the comedic relief of a series of a movie is that quote unquote woke person that's over the top.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean that's because I think even though Hollywood has tried to embrace certain aspects of it, they all are actors, right, guys? They're all actors and actresses, which means can you truly believe the public face that they have? I mean, honestly, think about it. Yeah, it's a good point. Poor Miss Sweeney, and she's about to face a really hard uphill battle with that Madam Web movie.
Well,
God, that does not look good.
so what's worse, this backlash or the fact that she's in Madam Web?
Yeah, that's rough. That might be what does her in is the Madam Web movie. Like, how dare you make such? Oh my God, dude, that movie just sounds like such a mess. You know what's not a mess though? Our channel on YouTube, the Genreverse Podcast Network on YouTube, is not a mess. It is a wonderful channel filled with great podcasts and reaction videos. We have anime versal reviews, reactions, otherwise known as AVR Squared. We'll be doing our Classroom of the Elite Season 2, Episode 9 reaction coming up right after Manny and I get off of this podcast. The Daily Cog, Breaking Geek Radio, AVR, regular AVR, Cantina, Marvel Multiverse Mayhem, all great podcasts. Also Genre Shot, trailer reactions. All of the podcasts go up on all of your favorite podcast apps like Google and Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, and Sounder.fm. We are at genreverse.sounder.fm. You guys can follow us anywhere. Leave us some reviews, thumbs up, down. Let us know what we're doing good. Let us know what we're doing wrong. And yeah, check out lrmonline.com every day for written reviews, articles on news and leaks, rumors, celebrity interviews. All of that goes up at the lrmonline.com website. Manny, anything else you wanted to throw out there?
Nope. Other than Warner Brothers has filed trademark for the use of the name Big Chungus in video games.
Nice.
That's it.
Interesting. All right. Bye, guys.